This poem is called The Great Unknown. Guess what it's about? They say to write what you know, and it's good advice if you know how to take it, because it means you need to know what you're writing about. Sounds simple, right? Well, it gets a little bit muddled when you start to write fiction. Because how can you know something that doesn't exist? Doesn't it exist in the back of your mind? And does that mean I can only write about things that I've experienced? Is it an experience if you've poured over pages and pages to learn? If I can only write what I know, then won't all my stories be the same? Is it always the same? Does it ever change from telling to telling? If it doesn't exist, think it through until it's real in your head. Draw on the personal accounts of people who have done what you haven't. Focus on different aspects of your knowledge and diversify from there. These questions have answers if you look for them. And yet, there's more. There's always more. What about the future? The great unknown. We've been writing about that forever. But no one really knows it. So how'd they do it? Well, there's a different answer for that with every story about the future. You cannot know the future. You cannot analyze the present. You cannot immortalize the past. And yet, people do it every day. So maybe you can write what you don't know, but it won't hold the same surety. Look out at the horizon and guess tomorrow's sunset. Whisper what colors it will be in my ear. Tell me if the breeze will shake the trees. Point out what shapes the clouds will take. Do you know that sunset? Do I know that sunset? Could either of us write it? It isn't real, and yet, you know it. I know it. We wouldn't write it the same. I think the future is what we make it, but we only have so many things we can make. Supplies are limited, but imagination is endless. And I'm staring down the great unknown. I'm going to write it until I know it as well as a good friend. They say, write what you know. And yet, I'm learning. And I think that might just be enough. So here's to the great unknown. As a congratulations for earning the title, a toast. To teachers and learners, new and old, to knowns and unknowns, great and small, to everyone on this side of the veil and those beyond it, remembered and forgotten. I'd like to know you someday. You'd make an excellent story. Thank you very much. Now I want to introduce you to my fellow senior, Jacarla Davis, who will be singing The Climb.